So everyone, welcome to Cassidy Megan, Unmasked with Cassidy Megan podcast. Today we're talking with Micheel Tall. Micheel, do you want to give an introduction of yourself to the group?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. My name is Micheel Tall, and I'm so honored to be here with Cassidy today. And I'm really honored that you guys have joined us. Just a little bit about myself. I've been a nurse for 30 years, and I have been a part of the epilepsy community for 17 years because my son Joshua has epilepsy. He lives with epilepsy. And so today, basically, I'm just here to kind of just talk and share my story and learn from each and every one of you, and be able to tell you a little bit about myself and what I'm up to these days as part in the research world.
Excellent. So Micheel, how does epilepsy affect you?
So, this is a great question because I think epilepsy affects me both in a positive and negative way. It's no secret that people living with epilepsy and their families are often challenged with demanding medical schedules, hospitalizations, treatments, managing symptoms and side effects of medication. And for some, they even live with the stigma that's associated with epilepsy. But for me, having a son with epilepsy, it's affected me in a really positive way. And it's given me the courage to be an advocate, a mom, and a nurse to pursue a higher education to help the epilepsy community.
Excellent. And what kind of obstacles have you had to overcome over your journey?
Well, if I had to choose one, I would say that one obstacle has been watching my son in his earlier years grow up not having a best friend to share memories. Sometimes I felt I wish I could rent a friend, but we all know that's not possible. And I believe that I overcame this obstacle by getting Josh involved in the community. He would volunteer at church. He would serve food to the homeless on Thanksgiving Day with the family. And he was even my helper at church. So I believe that these activities help Josh and I to serve, give back, and be a part of our community.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he's an amazing kid.
You sound
A lot
like
of people
it.
with epilepsy are amazing.
True. What is one thing you wish people knew about epilepsy?
I wish people knew the difference between the myths about epilepsy and the facts. And I think when people are more aware, it opens up the door for all of us to break down some of those barriers.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more.
I tell you, there's some really strange ones out there, but working together, I think that we got this.
What would be one of the strangest you've heard?
A while ago, I had done some work with using Dr. Servin from the Mayo Clinic had allowed me to use a study that he had published, and it was about people beliefs about epilepsy. And some people felt that epilepsy was contagious. Some people felt that epilepsy was a mental disease, that you can get epilepsy by eating pork. And it was just amazing just to think about, wow, I mean, some of these myths and misperceptions and misconceptions are actually things that people do believe. So I'm not here to judge anyone, but I do think that as science develops and we have these conversations, that we find out more and more that some of these things are very heavily based on myths and not facts. How about you?
Those are definitely some interesting ones, and a lot of things, yeah, they are based on people. The misconceptions are based on the myths and the old wise tales that used to be what was thought to be true.
Right.
The most obscure one I've heard was when I first started talking about epilepsy, and we got emails from this church asking my parents to send me to their church so they could rid me of my demons.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too.
That's a
I'm sorry. Yeah, that is a big one for sure. I didn't mention that one. Thanks for mentioning that one, Cassidy.
Oh, someone made a comment on a video on YouTube of someone having a seizure, saying like the spirit just loved her and wanted to bless her with this gift, and I'm like, um, let's address this very quick.
Right?
When we first heard it like ourselves, like we thought it was a joke. We never heard anything of that before, and then we realized we looked them up and realized it was serious, and it was just, we're very
Definitely.
baffled.
Yes, for sure.
Um,
Hmm.
what about other people? If you guys want to put in the chat what you guys found your strangest myth or stigma was that you guys came across. You guys want to put that in the chat? Interesting to hear. In the meantime, why do you think it's important for people to support epilepsy agencies and associations?
Cassidy, I think that it is extremely important because the people who work for epilepsy associations and organizations and advocates like you and many other people, me who's kind of just trying to spread the word and be supportive, it brings awareness. Epilepsy associations are really committed in bringing the awareness, the resources, and the forums for others to share their stories like we're doing today, as well as education to people living with epilepsy, their loved ones, and the community at large. So it's a safe place, and it's a great place to get reliable information and to share your stories and be a part of the community. And I think that it's not only for people living with epilepsy. I think it's a great resource for people who do not live with epilepsy or may know someone who have epilepsy. They could benefit a lot from these organizations and associations.
Definitely. Excellent. What has been some stigma that you've found you and your son facing with you guys' journey with epilepsy?
I think that when I would tell people, I wasn't going out there broadcasting it, but when people would say, hey, what's wrong with Josh? Is he sick? And I would say, Josh has epilepsy. And they immediately, their facial expression would change and they would say, I'm so sorry. And I would look at them and say, what are you sorry about? He's going to be fine. He's going to be okay. He's the best that he can be today. And all we can do is hope for tomorrow and the other days to be a better day. And there's just something with that word. Sometimes when you say you have diabetes or you have asthma, you just don't get that kind of response when you say epilepsy. So, I think that the general idea that epilepsy is just something so bad and you can't live your fullest life. With anyone, regardless of if you having a chronic disease or condition, there's all varying levels of it. So we can't say that epilepsy is something that, is just doomed. Again, we all have our different levels of health that we deal with. Another thing is really like that loneliness and isolation, and Josh really not wanting to be open to telling people that he had epilepsy. And although he didn't have to really say it, people knew because he was really, really sick and in and out the hospital. And I think that people were more afraid. And I think by them trying to have, trying to be supportive in their own way, they just didn't understand. So they kind of just separated themselves from him. But he's really had great people that he's met along the way. Probably 5 good friends that's hung in there with him, 5 good friends that's come to every birthday party. But, I appreciate all of those people that have really been a part of his life. So I hope I answered your question. So I think it's the loneliness and really just the response from others thinking that, wow. And I'm like, no, we got this. I don't know how, but we do,
Yeah. I remember you telling us something about when you was younger and like a birthday party was really like heartbreaking, devastating, and
Yeah.
I'm glad he's found friends now and he's sorry.
It's work in progress, and I wouldn't call him a social butterfly, but I do think that there's been so much growth from his younger years. Now he's 17 and a half, and I can't get him off of Instagram or Snapchat. So I think he's doing okay.
Oh, that's definitely, he's doing better. And I'm so glad you guys have rised above it and always made it into a positive.
Yeah, we tried. I mean, it's really a process. It's a process. It's not easy. We've had bad days and good days, but it's been 17 and a half years, and it's been a long journey, and it can be a lonely journey. And, I thank him all the time for just giving me that courage, because that's what people who live with epilepsy have. They have a lot of courage and strength. And without Josh, I'm not really sure if I would have had that much courage, and so I'm grateful for that.
Definitely. And I mean, like everyone here, we're all on this journey together. And although our paths and our journey can look different and be different in ways, and still we're all the same. And that's one of the great things about advocates like you and like everyone here, we all want more awareness, and with more awareness comes more opportunity for research, a cure. So like I agree, it's amazing to have the supports and have all this awareness out there.
You're amazing, Cassidy. I mean, I don't know, but how many people realize how amazing you are and your family. I mean, you started a movement that has touched so many countries internationally and nationally, and you continue to do so. And so I'm very grateful, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people that are too. So really, you're doing awesome. And I really appreciate the opportunity to get to know you. And as I speak to you, I realize how you're just such a dynamic person.
Thank you so much. It's really all of us, and you guys are where I get my inspiration from, and you guys are all such a big part of the epilepsy community and family too, that I'm glad to have you all in the corner and on this journey with me. So on like the topic of like journeys and research and all that, you're working on a app, correct? Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yes. So I developed an app, and the name of the app is called Epilepsy. And it's been an over 2-year project. And it's really designed to try and help people living with epilepsy achieve on-time medication, and also to learn a couple of things about transition, because some of the challenges for adolescents and young adults, and even for caregivers, is really making sure that all of the pieces are together. And, it'd be nice if we had a coach, and healthcare providers do their best to take care of us. But when it comes to making those transitions, usually you have a caregiver or a loved one that's really in control of managing your medicines or managing your prescribed medical treatment plan. So, getting adolescents and young adults more familiar with those things, they're able to advocate for themselves and make medical decisions and be a part of the healthcare team. So I would like to show you my app, just to give you a preview. I've had a very talented student, Devonte, who has helped me along the way, a best friend, Alan, who is present in the meeting, my family and everyone. And it's been a pleasure really just staying up all of those late nights and trying to provide a service and a product that I could bring out there in the world just to kind of get some feedback so I can see what improvements we could make later on and hear the voices of people, young people living with epilepsy. So that's it with me. I am a doctoral student. I'm at the last phases at my studies. I'm at the University of Central Floirda. And so this project is really important to me, not only to graduate, but so that I can graduate and do the work that I love to do. And so that is pretty much it in a nutshell. But if you want to, I could share my screen and I could show our audience a little bit about the app.
Yeah, so I made it so you could, I think I made it so you can share your screen.
Yes, you did. Can you see the app?
It's like it looks like a home screen of an iPhone.
Okay, I'm gonna get ready. It's just a little movie. So here we go, Epilepsy. You got to get that great job, when you take it. There's a chatbot. His name is Sam. He doesn't quite talk yet. He's trying to learn. So just to kind of just tell you a little bit about the app, some of the features of it, there's a My Profile, a reminders as we saw, there's a rewards program that if parents and even if you just want to challenge yourself, you can do that. I have it set up to, for every medication you take, you earn 1 point. And you can set goals. And, that could be as simple as something that is special for you that you want to reward yourself at the end of the week, or something that you and your loved one has agreed together. And so I have that separated into week 1, 2, 3, and 4, because the study is for 4 weeks. And there's also a feature where it says daily adherence, and that's kind of a diary and it keeps track of all the medicines that you've taken on any given day. So you don't have to really remember in the sense. I mean, it's like there's a substantial evidence right there. I've taken my medicine. The reminders, the way that the reminders is set up is that you'll receive a reminder 30 minutes ahead of time, just kind of like heads up. In 30 minutes, it'll be time for you to take your medicine. You'll receive a reminder at the time that you take your medicine. If you decide that, nope, I'm going to wait a minute, you'll get a reminder 30 minutes afterwards and then 1 hour later. And for caregivers who are involved, they'll actually get a text message only when you've taken your medication and when you're an hour late or you're trying to take your medicine 2 hours or earlier. So it's trying to keep communication with the caregiver if there's one involved or buddy. And the visual graph tracker, you saw it has a bar graph and a pie chart. It's just for a visual to see, you know, about your medications, how you've been on track, just tracking it. And as I said, the chatbot, who was really kind of designed in the sense of Joshua's face, is there really just to kind of bring you to some resources that are very reliable from the Epilepsy Foundation of America, the FDA, and different hyperlinks. And those hyperlinks are good in the sense that when they update their information, the information is updated. And we also have a social media platform where, you know, there's a private Instagram page for the participants in the study. No one else would be allowed to join that. And we also have a private website where there's some things on that too that the participants can enjoy. That's it.
That's amazing.
Well, it's in its first trial, so, you know, hopefully having people participate, we'll be able to get some feedback and, you know, grow the app from there.
So it's just like the trial, like pilot right now to see how it works and responses, right?
Exactly. And what I do want to tell people is that it's highly secured. It works with a very sophisticated database that keeps everything confidential. Information would never be shared with anyone. The study is approved by the IRB, and those are the people that want to protect participants. And so they have, you know, a ruler to me. You do something bad, you're in trouble. But I wouldn't, of course, wouldn't do that. So yes, it's never been out there in the world. Something that I'm going to keep for the participants who are interested in participating. Right now, it only works on an iOS device, an iPhone. It's not working with an Android phone. So that's one of the limitations, but we wanted to start with something I was familiar with, which was an iPhone. No offense to anyone who doesn't use an iPhone. So for right now, the app is only compatible with iPhones. So maybe in the future we could extend that.
Definitely. So you just answered one of Lori's questions, actually.
Okay.
She
had asked if it was available on iPhones and smartphones or Androids. So yeah, only iPhones right now, Lori. So, and like your participants, do they have to be from certain places? Can it be anyone?
So right now, the study is only available in the United States. And I would love for us to work together in the future and have a broader study so that we can offer it internationally. At that point, I'm sure I probably would have learned a lot of things and ironed out a lot of kinks. But The criteria to be a part of the study is that you have to be between the ages of 16 to 24 years old. And for those who are 16 and 17 years old, must have a caregiver involved because of the age. Anyone from 18 to 24, they don't necessarily have to have a caregiver, but they can if they choose to. We invite caregivers. They must have a diagnosis of epilepsy and take prescribed medications. They must live in an outpatient setting. We're not doing anything with patients in the hospital at this point. And like I had said earlier, have access to an iPhone or an Apple device with an internet connection. So that's pretty much the criteria. Thank you for asking.
Oh, of course. Thank you for sharing.
That was a big thing that I didn't mention, so thanks.
Oh, of course. No, it's important to know. When's the deadline for the study, I guess? Like, when does the study end?
So the study is going to close on June 1st, and it'll give me enough time to collect the data with hopes of being able to write up the results and be able to publish those things and present it to my university. And if I don't make the cut for August for graduation, which I'm keeping positive, then it'll happen in December. So we're gonna stop June 1st, and we're looking for 41 participants. Right now I have 11, and I'm grateful for the 11. But we'll see. We're just hoping that more people will sign up and be interested. And I am the principal investigator of the study, which means that I'm the person who's in charge. So, I really want to have that relationship where people can call me or text me or email me and feel comfortable talking to me. We're striving for perfection, but that's not the reality of the world. So, we anticipate that, just with any kind of technology, there may be some hiccups. But even so, just being able to have a open relationship and be there the best way that I can be there for the participants. And that's my goal.
Excellent. So it's an awesome, amazing app, very awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate your kind words.
No, it's really informative. It's really good. I think it's going to be very successful. I look forward to it being international because
wow, that would be awesome.
It would, and there needs to be more apps like this out there because there are lots, but there's still always need for more. So one question that came through before was, how can we in the community help?
Well, you're helping right now, just being a part of our discussion. I do have the flyer that is advertised on my social media. I know that you, Cassidy, have also posted it many times, different forums, and I'm real grateful for that. I think that spreading the word, or, if you are interested, calling me or emailing me or texting me would be great. Or if you know someone that could benefit from the study, sharing it with them. One of the limitations, like I said, well, two, is that it's currently only in the US. And the other one is, you have to have an iPhone or some type of Apple device. So just spreading the word and being open to participating would just be, I'll be so grateful for that. But, it has to be right. So I don't want people to feel pressured I'm just having open conversation about what my goals are. It doesn't matter if I get 41 people or I stay with 11 people. Like I said, I'm very grateful for those who have participated so far. So, just spreading the word is great, and supporting, people with epilepsy and organizations, and just having a real positive attitude is something that, to me brings joy. So
Excellent.
let's help each other. I think that's the best thing we can do, as a community.
Definitely. So Ilya from Iran asked, so it's the app is only on iPhones, Ilya. They're looking to expand it in the future. But for now, it's just on iPhones. And the Mendra from India said, will this app help patients in sending some messages about medicine time to take? So I guess will it send them like monitors, like alerts to take what time it is to take the medication?
Yes. So what I would do once someone is signed up, because the app is not available on the App Store yet. So it's on the App Store Connect, which is in a pilot in. It's almost like it's in a very secret place in the App Store, but it's just not published. So the app definitely is intended to give you that heads up reminder for all of the medicines that you enter into the app. You should expect to get a 30 minutes heads up. At the time that you're prescribed to take your medicine, you'll get a reminder, and you'll get 2 additional reminders if at the time you didn't take your medicine. So one at 30 minutes and then one 30 minutes later. So after 1 hour not taking your medicine, you would have already received 2 additional reminders.
Excellent. And Neurologic, about the question of obscure and odd myths we've heard, sent a link. Neurologic, do you want to unmute yourself? I don't know if I can go to the link without closing off the Zoom.
I'll unmute. It's just it's just an odd thing. It's the Mexicans, the Aztecs, had a god of epilepsy, and in fact, as odd as it is, I mean, it's really interesting to read. There's a Wikipedia page I probably should have sent instead of this link, which is to a scholarly article. But the International League Against Epilepsy in Mexico, uses this as their logo. I mean, I don't know what it's called in Canada. In the US, it's the American Epilepsy Society. So all these affiliated organizations, and they use it, but it's very interesting. I don't find it odd. I find it interesting, but still, it was when I first came across it, it really caught my eye. So some of the pictures are very beautiful if you like that kind of style. So
excellent. Okay, I'll definitely check that out later then. Thank you for sharing that. So does anyone else have any questions, comments? The floor is open. You guys can feel free to unmute yourselves. Michelle, do you want to unshare your screen so we can see everyone?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no worries. We were still talking about it. It's all good.
Did I give it back to you?
Yes. Yeah, it's all back.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions for Michelle of anything, write in the chat or you unmute yourself and ask. The floor is open. Well, I looked for notes questions that came in earlier.
Someone came in.
So a question that came in before the Zoom was, what made you want to create an app of all things advocacy-wise that you could do with the school that you could do? What made you want to create the app?
Well, to tell you the truth, I had read a publication that was about researchers from Australia that had developed an app, and it was called the app. And I was amazed at their ambition to really provide a very familiar platform for young people. Not to say that all young people are into, you know, all the different apps and so forth, but there's a lot. And reading that story really inspired me to try and develop something like that in the United States. Like you said, there's a lot of apps that are on the market, and there's a lot of apps, especially within the epilepsy community, that just has not undergo scientific research studies to really test whether or not it can make a difference. And I think that's really important for me, because I wanted to do something that was meaningful, something that was relevant, and something that could possibly be a source where people could use and communicate and be able to share information. And so, yes, I think I was a little over ambitious to start a project as such, but I'm really happy because I feel like when I graduate, I would have completed something that not only that I enjoyed, but that I can continue. And so I can't take credit for it. There's so many things. I started out thinking about cultural perspectives with people living with epilepsy. I was very interested in that. And but once I read that article and saw Josh always like, I'm like, you know what, this is probably a good start. And so it just kind of started from there. And I'm really, really happy that I was able to have the opportunity and the support to be able to create an app. But I didn't do it all alone. There's a lot of people that I'm very grateful for. I mean, technology, we know technology is, you know, something we can't keep up with, but it's clearly, you know, it could be our friend or our enemy at times. So I'm just hoping that this is something that will be more of a positive thing and not a negative.
Definitely. Ilya asked a question, and then Lori, I think, has a question too after.
Okay.
I don't.
So Ilya asked, do you want to ask it? I'll unmute you, maybe. Let people.
Yes, I just asked it. So, is this app the epilepsy that you said that you have invented as a project of yours? So, is this only the app that for patients only have with epilepsy, or for all types of different types of neurological disorders that all patients do have around the world?
You know, that is such a great question. Thank you for asking that. You know, my plans are to expand this. I actually had someone last week who reached out to me, and they're from the autism community. And they're like, can you work with us? And I'm like, sure, I would love to work with everyone. And see, these are the types of feedback that I'm looking for, because I do want it to expand and grow. And, you know, I started out with epilepsy because selfishly, my son has epilepsy, and knowing that I knew so little, which I thought I knew so much of being a nurse, but when it hits you at home, it's a whole different level. So to answer your question, I would love to open it up later on to other people with who live with neurological conditions other than epilepsy. Of course I would.
Excellent.
This is not something that, this is a service that I would like to provide. It's not something that I have any intentions of gaining any financial gain from it. So that's a great question. Thank you. Keep
Excellent.
my fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. And Laura, you had a question? No? Oh, okay. Seeing you on mute, so I thought maybe you did. Okay, yeah, that was a great question.
It really was. I'm just really looking forward to all the opportunities. And I think this study really will give me an idea to really know what we need, and just working together, I think that we can improve the app and extend it to other people, So I'm excited.
Definitely. So if people want to, so when we post this and we get interest from people, when we're directing them to you, where would be best for them to connect with you through? Where would be best for us to direct them to?
Okay, so you could either direct them to my email, which is mktall, TALL, at knights.ucf.edu. I can put that in the chat.
Okay, I was trying to type it out. I was like, I didn't even hit the type box.
Let me put that in so it's mktall at knights.ucf.edu. Or here's my phone number. You can text me as well, whichever is easier. One of the things that I didn't explain, and I guess I wanted to expand on a little bit, is like, what are the participants going to be able to be responsible to do during the study? And so before we actually get started being involved in the study, I would have to go through those questions, making sure that they met criteria to participate. And then we would have a one-on-one virtual training session to get them all set up. Because like I said, you can't get the app on the App Store. The project does involve answering some survey questions at the beginning and at the end. However, once everyone is trained, like I said, which is one-on-one, you're kind of off on your own. And the criteria is really just trying to use the app a minimum of 3 times a week for 4 weeks. Not shooting too big, like every single day. I would want you to do that. I think you could benefit from that. But 3 times minimum each week for 4 weeks. And then to thank you for your participation, I'll give you a $50 Visa card. I think that's the least I could do. And as far as like consents, as far as the study is concerned, the IRB just wants me to get a verbal consent from the participants. So there's not any forms or anything that you have to sign. It's just us having a discussion, you asking questions, and then agreeing if you feel that that's something that you want to do. And that will be my way of obtaining verbal consent from you.
Excellent. So I just put the email and the phone number in the group chat to everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And again, like, it is only like US, is it just US residents or?
Yeah, so thus far it's only for participants living in the United States. And eventually, I would love to expand the study and improve on the app and be able to offer it to a lot of different people who are interested. I'm taking these baby steps lead into that.
Excellent. And that's the way to do it, you know, start smaller, and then once it gets the hang of, gets on the rails, it just takes off.
That's right.
the way
That's what
up.
I'm hoping for.
Definitely. Is there any other questions anyone has?
Yeah, I have one question to ask.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, my name is Dharmendra from India. Yeah, since you are more in research, uh, this, since you are more of in research, yeah, and the graph of epilepsy, we have seen that it is increasing in US as well as in India. So, what could be the major reason for the epilepsy? Because so many medications has come in the market, and they are very promising drugs are there. But still, if you see every year the cases, they means their graph is so high. So since you are in the research, can you explain what could be the major reason for this?
Cassidy, can you tell me? I can't hear too well. When you get old like me, your hearing starts to go. But
Dharmendra, would you mind typing that? Does the background noise
I'm
cuts
so
out your
sorry.
audio a little? Would you mind typing your question for us?
Yeah, I can type, but still, let me bring my phone a little closer. So
Okay.
my question is very simple. Since you are in more of research, so I want to ask what could be the reason in US the epilepsy graph is increasing every year? The pregnancy, one could be the reason, but apart from that, what could be the major reason? The epilepsy graphs are increasing every year. So there are so many promising molecules are there, but still, why the graph is so high?
Why are the rates so high for people who have epilepsy?
That's right. That's right.
You know, that's the magic question right there. I'm not really sure if anyone really truly knows. Epilepsy is a condition that it's almost like an enigma. It's not just one thing. There's many different things that is cousins and family members and comorbidities that are part of epilepsy. I'm not sure if I'm answering your question, but you know, when I have spoken to Joshua's doctor, and I have asked questions and have had conversations, he says, you know, Michelle, we're just not smart enough to know the answer. And I say to myself, if you're not smart enough, you got to be kidding. I don't know who's smart enough to answer that. So I'm not sure if I answered your question. I think that part of it is that we are more aware. We have better tools that can diagnose epilepsy. I think that we have great people that advocate for us, and they are telling the stories and doctors are listening, because not everything that's associated with a seizure means that you have epilepsy. So I think that there are 65 million plus people around the world that have epilepsy, and those who do not have epilepsy, we're not excluded from that group. You know, 1 in 26 people can have a seizure because we all have a threshold that we can cross. I may have had a seizure sleeping and never have known it, and that may be the situation for other people. But I don't know if I answered your question. What else? What else do you?
He also may have been asking, like, what does the app measure? Like, what is the app trying to study, I guess?
Okay. So the app really is trying to help the person take their medication on time. Because as we know, as humans, we forget. And the app is also trying to develop those habits. Okay, it's time to take my medicine. I'm going to take my medicine. Because when you comply with your medical treatment plan, usually I would say you're moving more in a positive direction than a negative direction. I know that people face, issues with side effects and think they don't need the medicines, but that's not the point of this app. It's really just to try and get you in the scheduling mode of taking your medicine, and also providing some basic information about epilepsy, who you can contact in case you had some questions, like the Epilepsy Foundation, a hotline, some things about transition that's important, questions to ask your doctor, and so forth. And I would add that for people who are between 16 to 24, they may all be at different levels. There may be a younger person in the study that's more, into managing their medicines than, say, someone who's in their 20s. So it's really just general information to just get started, to get the conversation going. I hope I answered your question.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. It was a very nice answer. I got
Oh.
all the. Yeah, I have a respect for the people who are in the research, and US they're doing remarkable work when it comes to the epilepsy treatment and all. So you have given a very good answer. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. And we're not trying to be stingy because we want to spread that research globally.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Lori had commented, this is such a great discussion, learning a lot.
Oh, thank you.
Ilya said, yes, pretty cool for me too. Sydney said, what a great discussion. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Ilya, sorry, I keep wanting to add like an extra L. I don't know why. I'm very sorry. So he asked, did you want to ask your question, Ilya?
Yes, about this. So according to this, so according to your explanation, this app will send the patient, for example, if I say like online, or for example, will give the person online to find the good solution for the medication, something like that, that the person will get online, just like because of like now the coronavirus that is now here, so everything's now online. The person will get online on the app, and then for the person will give the solution for the perfect medication to cure. Is this right? It's like you're going online for something like that?
Well, there is no cure, but we always have to stay hopeful, always. If I had the cure, definitely, I would just give it to everyone. The app really is a way to just kind of learn how to just take those medications on time. It's just like a buddy, like time to take your medicine, time to take your medicine. But you don't want an annoying buddy. You want somebody who is going to be supportive and who's going to help you stay on track. And it's also a way for you to also track what you're doing, and I think there's value to that. I think there's value to when you set goals and sometimes we don't meet those goals, that when you do meet those goals, that you do need to award yourself for that, reward yourself for that. It could be anything that you like, and even like a good job. Sometimes we forget to tell ourselves that we're trying and we're doing a good job. So there are no solutions to this app. It's just really just a tool to help young people with epilepsy, and hopefully others in the near future, to help them keep on track, taking their medicines. and to have a forum where they can chat with other people if they choose to through Instagram, or, you know, learn some information from Sam, who's really Josh, the chatbot. And then for me to actually find out from you and others, what is it that you want to know about? You know, what are some topics that are of interest that could help you? So it's kind of like an all around manager, and trying to make you the manager of your care. And, but at the same time, trying to bring in the social piece so that if you did want to share your story, you're in an environment that people could relate to. That's why it's not open to the public. I think that's important.
Excellent.
Thanks.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I guess, well, about then, yeah, you really answered it. Thanks. That was a great answer.
Well, thank you for your question.
And kind
Yeah,
of
you're welcome.
on the topic of cure, like, although there's no cure yet, sadly, all this research and all this awareness can hopefully one day lead to a cure for epilepsy. So another big thing of why awareness and research is super important.
Definitely. I agree with you.
So if there's any other questions, feel free. I definitely learned a lot, and I thank you for sharing this with all of us. Is there anything else that wasn't asked or wasn't shared that you want to speak on, Micheel?
Well, I want to thank everyone. And I also would like to share that people living with epilepsy and their families, they're just a group of dynamic people. And they have good days and they have off days, as every human on the planet encounters. And I believe that despite all of the struggles that my son and my family has encountered, and each and every one of you, you know, we have to be grateful for those good days that we do have. And it's not because I feel like we have to be the strongest person on earth, but I think that sometimes that adopting an attitude that, you know, we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but, you know, somehow, some way, we're going to push forward regardless of not knowing what the unknown is. And so I've learned a lot from so many people, and I'm very grateful for it. It's not easy, but today, everyone taking out the time to join me, it means so much to me, and I appreciate it. I would love to stay in contact. I do have an Instagram page as well. If you'd like to reach out to me, I will type it in here, or you can always reach out to Cassidy. She knows so much more than this stuff. But thank you, everyone. If there's something that after the Zoom that you think about and you want to send me an email or a text or so forth, please feel free to do so. And Cassidy, thank you so much. And I really appreciate the opportunity. And you've done so much. And I'm really grateful.
Thank you, and thank you for coming on here. I know you're busy with being in school, with everything with the app, so I'm glad we found this time to do this, and everyone found time in their busy days and schedules to come on and watch. All your contact information will be in the video as well when it's posted, so
Okay.
we'll be able to pause it and look you up and everything.
Thank you.
Ilya says, not only people with epilepsy need to be strong, all people need to be strong, like all of you guys.
Thank you. You are correct.
Very.
And, you know, I know that the topic has been people living with epilepsy, and I am so grateful to have you here so that you could check me and tell me, no, there's other people out there too. And that's something that I do want to do. You're dynamic as well. And staying strong is something that is easy to say and hard to do. But, you know, all we could do is try our best. And if it's the best that we did for that day, then I mean, that's what we have to go with, you know?
Definitely.
So not only people with epilepsy need to be strong, all people need to be strong. I
And
love that. Thank you.
definitely. And it's not only the person that has the seizures that epilepsy affects, it is the whole family. It is
The
our
whole
friends, our peers. So you guys are
Right.
both very, very correct in that. And we're all in this together. And like I said earlier, like, although our journeys may look or seem different, we are all on the same path and we aren't different than anyone else. And
Right.
yeah, we're all very strong. And I'm glad we have each other in this community.
That's right. I am glad too. And I love when you say, Cassidy, that you don't let epilepsy define who you are. And I think that goes with everything, making sure that, you know, whatever we have, whatever challenges, everyone in the world have challenges to deal with, you know, but like Cassidy mantra is not letting it define who you are. And I would add just, you know, making sure that you do take the time to just give yourself credit for that strength and even giving yourself a pass to have a bad day, because there's no humans on earth that don't encounter having those bad days. So thank you all. And I really look forward to speaking to you guys again. I don't know when, but you can always reach out to me and I'll do the best to answer your questions or surely give you a mechanism for someone who could possibly, okay? And definitely stay in touch.
Yes, everyone feel free to stay in touch and again also to keep tabs on how the progress of this app is going.
Okay.
And I can also
big
guys
shoes to fill. Uh-oh.
Oh, got a lot of people interested in it now, Michelle.
Okay.
Thank you guys all so much for coming on here. Honestly, together we are making a difference, and the only limits we have are the ones we put on ourselves, the ones that are in our minds.
That's right.
So, not epilepsy, not your health. You choose where your limit is, and you choose where, if you even have a limit. And you guys aren't alone. We're all in this together. And thank you so much for your questions, for coming on here, for sharing your story, Michelle, and sharing this app with all of us.
Thank you.
This should be posted within the week. Fingers crossed. That's the goal.
Thank you so much. You're awesome. Everyone's awesome. Not only people living with epilepsy, everyone's awesome. I'm going to remember your words.
Good.
Okay, well, if there's not any other questions, I hope that everyone has an awesome weekend. And I look forward to meeting you somehow, some way, whenever. Don't feel pressured. Just always know that it's great to have conversation and to learn from each other so that we can support each other. And I think that's my main goal, truly. It truly is. So have a great day and let's chat soon.
Definitely. Thank you, everyone, so much again. Have a great day and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
It was a great pleasure to having a lot of talented people on the Zoom. I feel very happy to see you.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
My pleasure too.
It's 9 o'clock in India. So it's a time for dinner.
Wow. Well, you know, for you to take the time out in the evening to join us, that means so much to me. And I hope that we all can stay connected somehow. And I wish you the very best. And I appreciate your support.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Have a good evening.
Bye. Bye, Cassidy.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. Neurologic just sent. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Cassidy. Thank you for coming on and contributing.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, everyone. You guys were amazing.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk soon.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. Okay.
Thanks, everybody. That was a good conversation with all of you guys, even with Michelle, even with you guys, even with all of you guys. Wish you guys the best. Well, see you soon in the next live or Zoom. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.